Nice. So good afternoon again. Yeah, again, I was an absolute delight to interview a very lovely and dear friend of mine, Jill Bennett. Again, we've networked for quite a few years, and again, Jill, I've been overwhelmed by your support and love for Zoco. It really genuinely. So you make me a very happy boy. So thank you for that. And love to see you this afternoon. So Jill. So yeah. So good afternoon, Jill. Hello.
Hello everybody.
Yeah, I should allow her to speak after all, shouldn't I, rather than just me. So Jill is very interesting. So Jill, we're going to go into talking about Jill's business in detail, okay? So Jill runs a business in multi-level marketing, network marketing. And it does have, unfortunately, a kind of a weird press, okay. But my experience with multi-level marketing over the years has been nothing but positive. I've never been harangued. Okay, a lot of members run multi-level marketing, network marketing. I've never been hassled. It's never been an issue for me. Okay, and so the question she sent in, absolutely the first one, which is, what makes, and we will talk about your business at some point, but what makes some people very successful in network marketing while others aren't, Jill?
I think there's a few things going on here. First of all, everyone gets really excited because one thing we're really good at in network marketing is doing a good presentation where we tell you all the benefits. Now in Arbonne, we have very strict compliance procedures, as do most companies. So we're not going to oversell it. We're not going to tell you you're going to be a millionaire, next week, because clearly that's not going to happen. But you do get very excited because you'll hear from people who are extremely successful. You go home, you start talking to your friends and family, and everyone's negative. People don't want to know. None of my friends jumped into my business. A lot of them have been supportive clients over the years. My husband doesn't like my business, particularly my kids. As they've grown up, they've got very anti my business. So I think you've got to be a strong person to put up with the negativity you get from other people when you first start. And a lot of people aren't. It's a bit like going to the gym full of enthusiasm, working yourself stupid. The next day you can't get out of bed. You probably won't, you may not go again. There are lots of people who do that. And I think network marketing is the same. Lots of people, your friends and your family will be negative. You lose the enthusiasm and you just don't do anything. To be successful, you've got to be prepared to help other people. It's not about selling to other people. You've got to be passionate about the products that you represent and know what the benefits are and explain to people what those benefits are and how you can help them. So we like to say it's all about serving people, really. We do have, the industry generally has a bad reputation. It's very misunderstood. Only 2% of consultants in any network marketing company will reach the top level, where you can be earning significant amounts of money, gangster money, once you've been in for a few years if you reach that top level. But let's think about corporate organizations, because how many people are going to end up as the CEO of ICI or Dyson or a school? How many people get to be a headmaster or a headmistress of a school? And you can go on. How many prime ministers do we have at any one time? The fact is with network marketing that anyone can get to that top level. So you could join a corporate organization and know that you're never going to get to the top. You're just not going to do it. But in network marketing, it's possible for everyone. It's a level playing field. There's no glass ceiling, and it's up to you. And we all know in life, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. It's what you do and it's how you feel that will allow you to be successful. And it's absolutely no different in network marketing. Anyone can get to the top if they're persistent and they have faith in themselves and believe in themselves.
Well, as I said, I mean, I have, I've known you many years, and I've never been. It's interesting you say that about your children. So your children were negative. Hopefully they're less negative now because they've seen how ethically and sensibly you run your business.
Yeah, they are less negative now, and they both love the products. So they'll quite often phone mum, and I have to, send them some nice goodies as a little gift. Yeah, I think what they can see is that it just makes me very happy. In the company I'm with in Arbonne, we have an amazing community of friends and leaders, and it's just, it's really you just feel part of a nice, big, happy family, which is
Good
great.
to hear. Okay, so yeah, so why did you start your business as an independent consultant with Arbonne? What made you start with Arbonne?
Well, for many years, I worked for the Foreign and Commonwealth Office, and I was an auditor. So I went into the that area of the civil service as a professionally qualified person. And I used to travel the world auditing British embassies and high commissions. Now, I had my children very late. So I had my son when I was 38 and my daughter when I was 42. And when you've got two babies at home, and I was quite senior in the Foreign Office, I had a team of 54 people. You can't just go off at the drop of a hat for 5 or 6 weeks abroad. You can't, you're juggling childcare and commuting into London. And it got to the stage where I just had enough. I felt I wasn't being a particularly good parent, and I certainly wasn't doing the best that I could do at work either. So I very luckily managed to get a package out of them, and I left to be a stay-at-home mum. And after a couple of years of that, I was bored, and I met a lady at a charity coffee morning who started talking to me about what did I do, and I said, oh, actually, I really want to do something. And she introduced me to Arbonne. And I really didn't think it was for me. I was a professionally qualified person. I had a master's degree, and the thought of selling lipstick really didn't appeal to me at all. But when you actually investigate these sorts of businesses, especially when you're someone who wants to be around more for their children, you realize that actually it's a pretty good business model. I love the fact, I mean, one of the things that frustrated me in the Foreign Office was that the senior structure of the civil servant, which is the top 2 or 3% of civil servants, is full of Oxbridge educated males, and they wanted more diversity. And I was at the next level down from the senior structure. And so they said to me, we really need your skills. You've got all the people skills, the team builders. We need you in the senior structure. So they put me through a 3-day assessment center, which was grueling, and then told me that I wasn't good enough in the strategy areas to be in that senior structure. Now, all the people in the senior structure were the strategy people. What they needed were the soft skills, which I could have given them. Anyway, that frustrated me and made me want to leave. When I looked at network marketing, I realized that it was just the perfect thing for anyone who wanted to be responsible for their own success. And what you get out of network marketing is what you put in. Mm-hmm. The more you put in, the more people you help, the more you're going to actually get out of it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that was my story, really. I jumped in, and 10 years later, I'm still very, very happy.
Okay, we'll stay on Arbonne for a moment, because I'm aware of Arbonne. Tell us about Arbonne and its green credentials.
Yeah, so Arbonne is a very, very green and growing organization. We're a certified B Corporation. That means that we consider people and the planet before our profits. All of our products are toxic free. They are vegan certified. They are, we're quoted on the PETA website. We've got kosher certification, halal certification for all our nutrition, and we could go on. Mm-hmm. We have our packaging is very, very sustainable, and we are always trying to improve that even more. We have a really good long-term plan in place to be carbon neutral and to replace all of the non-recyclable packaging that we have. In fact, some of the non-recyclable now that you can't put in your recycling bin, we send people a free prepaid envelope, mm-hmm. and they can put it all back in there, and when it's full, they can pop it in the post. Mm-hmm. So we're doing everything we possibly can to be sustainable and to look after the planet, including our ingredient policy.
Yeah, and you talked about the product being toxic free. I mean, you mentioned before, the things you put on your skin go into your body, don't they?
They do, absolutely. Anything you put on your skin is going to be absorbed into your bloodstream. Mm-hmm. So you might think carefully about the things that you're eating, but it took a long time before research caught up for celiacs. So celiacs would avoid any gluten in their diet, but they may not have realized there was gluten in some of the products that they were putting on their skin, and they wondered why they were still getting poorly. It took a while for research to catch up and say, oh, there's actually gluten in some of your skincare products. So that's another thing that we have. Our products are gluten-free. Our nutrition is, all of our protein drinks are low GI. You know, we just aim for the best of the best, really. We have a do not use or will not use ingredient list of over 2,000 items that are regularly used in other skincare products, and we don't use any of those at all.
Wow, that's excellent. I love your questions you sent through. I mean, it's just so relevant and so, you know, to all businesses. So I've got here, what keeps successful people going?
Yes, well, obviously, if you get early successes in this sort of business, it's easy to keep going because you can just build on those successes. But you need to have a really, really strong mindset and strong belief in yourself. And I think that's where so many people go wrong. I have seen in network marketing, in fact, in Arbonne, some very, very shy people who have joined the company, but through working on themselves, on their own self-belief and on their personal development, they have ended up being so hugely successful. One lady, if anyone wants to Google her, is Sarah Dunning. She's the highest paid person in the UK. In fact, I think she's now something like the second or third highest paid person in Arbonne globally. Now, bearing in mind, Arbonne have been around for 40 odd years, but only in the UK for 12. She's done so well. And she could barely speak in public before she started her business. But it's personal development. And I think, you know, when we are born as babies, we're full of self-confidence, aren't we? We get up, we try and walk, we fall down, we hurt ourselves, we get up, we don't give up because we can't walk. And then you go to school. I mean, I think when you're an inquisitive toddler, your parents let you get away with murder as well. They give you the pots and pans, empty the cupboards, bang around. But when you get to school, all of a sudden you have to sit still and quiet. And if you try and do something different to the rest, you're told off. And so our self-confidence shrinks a little. We don't have that same belief in ourselves because we may feel we're different to the rest of the class. And I think the difference between those who become successful and those who maybe give up their business at an early stage is literally to do with the self-confidence you've got inside of yourself and your will and your persistence. You need to be persistent. There's so many people, aren't there, in history, like Edison. Edison was inventing the light bulb and he tried 10,000 times. He had 10,000 failures, only he never called them a failure. He said, it's just things that haven't worked. And he kept going and going and going until he was hugely successful. J.K. Rowling, she was rejected by 12 publishers with her first Harry Potter book, but she didn't give up. How many people would keep going to a publisher when the first one has said, oh, this will never sell?
And just imagine what her family and friends all told her.
Yes, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. They probably didn't believe her at all. And the other key thing, if you're in any sort of business, so anyone on the call, anyone watching this later, is have written goals. You need a positive mindset. This is so key in life. We all know people in life who are always ill and all they talk about are their illnesses. Well, that's because that's the vibe they're putting out. That's the energy they're putting out, and they're going to attract more illness. We all know people who are always broke. I mean, I have an aunt, drives me bonkers, because all she ever talks about is how I've got so much money and she's got none, and how money goes to money. And I said, yeah, it's a great saying, isn't it? Why do you think that isn't? And I try and explain to people, but, you know, you have to be positive. You have to think about what you want. You have to be really, really grateful for what you've got. Not think about what you want and haven't got, but be extremely, eternally grateful for everything that you've got. And you'll attract more of that goodness into your life. So I would say have some very, very clearly written out goals, because there's a real link between you writing by hand and the whole function going on in your subconscious brain. And so have your written goals, your handwritten, read them every day. Read them first thing in the morning. And write them in the present tense. So it's not, I'm going to be a, you know, global football star by December. It's, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm a global football star earning, I don't know, what do they earn? You know, 5 million a week or whatever it is. But have them written in the present tense, have them very specific, And always remember to say how happy and grateful you are that you've achieved that goal, as if you've already achieved it, because your unconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. And a good way of illustrating that is how, and you're probably not all as a Pisces like me, but if I watch a sad movie, I cry buckets through that movie. It's not real, but as far as my unconscious, my emotions are concerned, it's real. And it you know, reduces me to a blubbering wreck, which makes my children laugh a lot. But it's the same with anything. You know, you need to feel the emotion, you need to have that goal and really, really feel an emotion for it, and you will be successful.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And yes, I mean, people are always telling me how positive I am, and I'm never ill. So that's testament to your point. So thank you for that. Again, leads me neatly on to how can people develop better self-belief? Surely that's a difficult one, isn't it?
It can be a difficult one, but you know, the first place to start is by reading personal development books. There are so many amazing personal development books out there. I think since I started in Arbonne, I mean, I've always been a positive person, but since I started in Arbonne provide loads of amazing training and book recommendations for us. And I started reading these books, and a couple of them I referred to my sister, who'd had a very different life to me. And when she read the book, she was saying, oh my God, that's why you've got your life and I've got mine, because you've always been positive. Because it just was just my normal nature. I think I was the third child. I was ignored. You know, I was just always at the bottom of the heap as a child. So I just got on with things. And, you know, as far as I was concerned, I was happy. So start by reading personal development, invest in yourself. It can take a lot of work for some people, but you're going to feel so much better, and you're going to improve every area of your life, not just your business, your relationships, your health, your finances, your future. You know, you really, really need to work at it. There's so many people in this world who feel that they don't fit in, or they strive to be perfect. You know, perfection is bullshit. You don't need to be perfect. I had some coaching once from a self-made millionaire, and his mantra was, good is good enough. You do not need things to be perfect. You know, just do it. There's a saying I love, and it's, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. And I think that's such a brilliant phrase.
I love it. And
Marissa Peer.
And does Arbonne encourage personal development, I presume?
Oh God, yes. Yeah.
I mean, the team behind you, I'm aware of that. I mean, they give you lots and lots of personal development. I know that. I can see Alex is on the corner. Alex has talked about constantly about personal development. So yeah, you have lots of personal development in Arbonne, do you?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. The key is to make sure that you know you're worthy, you know you're good enough, and you know, you were born worthy. It's your birthright to be successful and to be happy. And that's what you have to remember, despite whatever's happened to you in the past, whatever's happened to you in your childhood. There was a great joke that our old president, Rita Davenport, she wrote a really hilarious book, actually, if anyone wants to Google her name. But she used to just joke and say that Arbonne is a personal development company disguised as a skincare company, because we are so hot on personal development. So yeah, it's you know,
it's interesting, this whole talk about personal development and self-belief. I mean, we're all kind of one-man bands, as it were. It's more and more important for us one-man band sole traders than employees, isn't it? Because they're part of a bigger company, aren't they?
Absolutely. You've got to, you know, your happy, sunny disposition every day is what's made this whole organization successful so quickly, because you're so personable. People have a chat with you. You know, you are what you say you are. What you see is what you get, and it just makes the whole organization tick. You know, so
Well, we're grateful that I've got another couple of questions here. So another great question. We'll talk about books on the radio in a minute. So what advice would you give to someone interested in growing another stream of income by starting a social marketing business?
Okay, so anyone interested in network marketing, MLM, social, whatever you want to call it, There's some great advice out there. First of all, and I've already mentioned this once, is to find a company whose products you can get absolutely passionate about.
Again,
You know,
I did investigate another network market company, which wasn't right for me. The product wasn't right. The company was great, but the product just didn't light my fire. So yeah, continue, please.
No, I mean, it's like, you know, me trying to sell football socks, isn't it? I'm not going to get passionate about them. So you need something that you can believe in. You need to use the product and be really, really authentic when you talk about them. The other thing is consumable products. Consumable products are things people use every day. They run out and they rebuy them. So it's key to have a consumable product, and ones that people want today. So health and wellness, vegan, toxic free, this sort of thing, all of these buzzwords of today. Yeah, you need people who will become loyal to your brand, and you need to be loyal to your brand. Make sure that the person who introduces you to the business, who will become your upline, who's the person for coaching you initially, you're compatible with. Make sure it's someone fun, because you're going to be, you need to have things in common. You're likely to spend quite a lot of time with them. I mean, we go away, Alex and I have been away to Vegas several times together. We all have just such fun.
I've seen the video. I want to go. It's so amazing they look.
It is. It's great. And we're going to St. Louis next year, aren't we, Alex?
Wow,
our conference next year is in St. Louis. That's great. So yeah, your upline's really important. Again, I've put here, and this touches on what we've already talked about, a company that believes in personal development and provides lots of free training. I think most companies are getting quite good at this now. They have back offices with loads of videos and things you can watch. Make sure they're a member of the DSA, which is a Direct Selling Association, because they're a regulatory body. So if you're a member of the DSA, then you know that all of their compliance and everything is going to be in place. They're going to be complying with all the legalities that are out there. A B certified corp is ideal, because you know then they're sustainable and they're considering the planet and people before their profit, but that's not the be all and end all. I think many companies are starting to move towards that now. And yeah, and as I've said already, remember, you don't have to be great to get started, but you've got to get started to be great.
And let's touch upon your other interest. So that your radio position on Brooklands Radio. I've been on Brooklands Radio. You didn't interview me. Somebody else did. I was on a business show, I think, wasn't I? So tell me about.
I interviewed you about health insurance, I think.
Did you? Okay. No, please forgive me. Yeah. Anyway, so Jill, tell me about Brooklands Radio, please.
Yeah. So Brooklands Radio is a community radio station based in Weybridge. We cover Surrey, but we get people pick us up all over the world, really. And we're there to help members of the community. In fact, we've got a great initiative which will be running in June, which is called Let's Keep It Local. So any local businesses that want to get involved can contact the radio station, and for a small amount of a donation, they can get involved, be interviewed, have an advert going out several times a day. But we have a whole variety of shows. So mine is called Your Health Matters. It's all about health. We have a rock show, we have classical music shows, you name it, and we do it. And again, all the presenters are great fun, and it's another good community that I'm a member of. But I love interviewing people, so I've interviewed loads of people from Zoco, and I had a lovely chat this morning with Emma, who came to the meeting last week.
Yeah, Emma Govenden, yeah.
Yeah, and she's going to be on a show later on this year talking about technological health products.
Yep, remember that. Yes, yeah, armbands and socks and stuff. Yes,
yeah.
And I find it fascinating. Obviously, you're talking about very local and Weybridge and stuff, and we can all hear clearly the wildlife behind you, Jill. So remind everybody where you're coming to us from now.
So I'm in Mallorca at the moment, where I live for a lot of the year. And yeah, I'm sorry, we've got the peacocks here. Yeah. Sometimes they do their mating calls, and then you can't even hear on a call like this. But they're not being too noisy today.
Yeah. Well, it's been thoroughly enjoyable. So let's bring everyone back into the room and do some Q&A, any questions here. Oh, quite a few people here. Lovely. So does anyone have any questions? Oh, Justine, unmute yourself and far away.
Hi, Jill.
Hi.
I think it's that was fantastic, by the way, first of all. I think it's really, really important what you touched upon right at the very beginning when you said that you first got involved in network marketing, how your closest, your nearest and dearest weren't the ones that were supportive. And, you know, being involved in a network marketing business myself, I've you know, experienced that as well. And I think that you're absolutely right. When people, you know, hear about network marketing, that's what they think. They think, oh, I'm just going to be told I have to go straight to my contact list and contact everybody that I know and just like harass all my friends and family. But so if you were having somebody brand new starting with you right now, who's a little bit nervous about getting all of that negative from their people, what would you tell them?
Well, what I normally do with my new people is I get them to do a launch. So at the moment it would be virtual, and we would literally go online and we talk about the products in the business, but I would tell them to invite them. Would you please just come along to support me in the audience of my new business? I don't want you to buy anything. I'm not expecting you to join, but I'd love your support just to help me launch. And then as the speaker on a launch, I would say, you know, we're here today to launch Justine. Thank you so much for coming to support her. If at the end of this presentation, you feel that you would like to try some products, you know, we have a 90-day money back guarantee if people buy products. But you may also think that actually you'd like to start doing what Justine's doing. So just come and talk to one of us after the meeting. But, you know, thank you so much for being here and being supportive.
And it doesn't cost any money to sign up, does it? I mean,
it costs you £30, but for that you get, I mean, it varies again from company to company, but for that you get your website, you get your, whoever sponsored you will help you get going, but you get, you know, as I say, the training and everything that's available online is amazing.
And the personal development, whatever you do, is never going to be wasted, is it? Let's face it.
No, never wasted. We should all be doing personal development and working on our mindsets and keeping ourselves really, really strong anyway.
I'm really enjoying it so far. Any other questions before we close? Anybody have anything else that they wish to? I have a fish stick in front of me.
Oh, well done.
You're glad to know. Although it does look suspiciously like beer, but it's not. Okay, so I have a fish stick every day. Thank you, Alex.
I have one. Actually, this is a skin elixir rather than
I drink it at work, and it does look like I'm drinking beer at work. And I keep telling people I don't drink alcohol. This is not alcohol. Okay. But no. I mean, I said, and this has been, and I knew it'd be a lovely chat. But again, the fact we touched upon personal development, self-belief, it's been really interesting. I tell you. And I've thoroughly enjoyed that. And before we wrap up, any other questions before we go? No, Gareth. I can't believe Gareth's got nothing to say. It's unlike Gareth to have nothing to say.
All right. You asked for it.
Okay, go on then.
Jill, it was a good presentation. Actually, I enjoyed it. I got up to just below Emerald level in Amway many years ago. So I was doing that. I was bringing home about just under $2,000 a month from it. The situation, as you know, with Amway changed rather radically. So I got out while the going was good. I think it is a lot about mindset. I think it is a lot about. I get the positive affirmation. I mean, I'm lucky. I don't have, just because I'm autistic, I don't feel the need. I'm either all on or all off. I don't have self-doubt in that way. But you know, I have difficulty in multi-streaming, and as Nick will tell you, I do enough different things, and I can't focus on anything else. So, I would say if anyone wants to do something whereby it's something that will guarantee to work, because I know that Arbonne guarantees to work. If you apply yourself and you follow the education, it will work. It's just a matter of effort over time. But the problem is, I think the perception with MLMs is that it all turns around overnight, and it's a time-based thing. You have to put the effort in. Because the steps themselves are relatively simple. The perception is, oh, if I do simple steps, it will happen by next Wednesday, and it won't.
No.
But no, our one's one of the better ones, actually.
Thank you, Gareth.
Thank you, Gareth.
Quality. Right, well, I will wrap this up. It has been really, really lovely, very easy, just like the chat with Alex, very relaxed, very easy. And thank you again for your support with Zoco. Thank you for your kind words. Whenever I've asked for any kind words, you've jumped up and supported me. So I really, really appreciate it, Jill. I hope and you'll come back in the UK in July, I gather, aren't you?
Yeah, I think we arrive back on the 4th of July.
Well, just too late for our meeting, but when we come back, we'll definitely have a meet up, okay, in the summer.
Yes,
Yeah,
please. Yeah.
right. Okay, let us end the recording.